Hey, this is 8-Bit from Demo Reviews, where we show you the best up-and-coming games.
Hello, this is Eternal Frog 08, and we have quite the list this time. We also seem to have a special guest for today's video.
Hi, I'm Twbb. Just to introduce myself, you'll probably find me playing cozy, puzzle, and story games, and I also like the odd party game from time to time. If a demo has good visuals, or is one of the genres that I like to play, there's a good chance I've played it. So, when I saw the list of demos these guys had to review, I figured I would lend a hand.
3 times every year, Steam holds its Next Fest, where developers prepare demos to show off their games. With the Summer Next Fest having just concluded, we thought we'd give you our picks of the over 4,000 demos. We're a small team, so we couldn't get to all of them, but with your help, we can. So if you want to help make videos like these, join the Steam community linked on our channel page to help us find the best demos out there. Or, if you're a game developer yourself, don't hesitate to reach out. We have 14 demos to show you today, ranging from a noir office arena shooter to musical mascot horror to monkey bomb defusal, so you're bound to find something that interests you. Every game will have a card that appears in the top left with brief genre details so you can quickly judge whether or not it's something you'd be willing to look into. Alright, that's enough prefacing. Let's hop into our first demo.
I can't ready up. I can't start it.
The banana below your name? There you
Starting off with the most popular demo in the Next Fest, BOMBANANA is a trio game that has you coordinate the defusal of a bomb while each one of you has a vital impairment. The deaf guides the mute, while the blind follows the instructions of the two. Created by Lefto Studio, BOMBANANA grants you a full experience despite only having 7 levels, ranging in difficulty. Find out which job fits the strengths of your friends, and endure the pressure of the ticking timer that's constantly reminding you that you need to hurry up. BOMBANANA manages to balance that stressful countdown with the comedy of not understanding a single thing that your teammate's trying to tell you.
I'm pointing to my right and my left to say left or right.
Just look at the direction. Oh god. Oh god. My left or my right?
With the rising number of modules each game, it's up to you as the mute one to decipher each puzzle, hearing your friends bombard you with information the entire time. That is, if you got friends to play with. If not, then I'd recommend hearing 8-Bit out on Object Impermanence.
Thanks, Frog. As you said, next up is Object Impermanence. In this stylistic puzzle game, you play as an astronaut with an underdeveloped prefrontal cortex. That is to say, you lack object permanence. Or maybe it's more accurate to say the world lacks object permanence. You find yourself and the other 3 members of your crew crash-landed on an alien planet where the term out of sight, out of mind applies literally. Anything not in your view will freeze or reset, creating a unique and mind-bending gimmick. The developer, Slugware, uses the feature to the game's benefit, as every puzzle uses it to its full extent. The game's environment is incredibly beautiful too, as you wander through the ruins of a forgotten society crumbling before your very eyes. The world is made up almost entirely of an orange and purple color palette, leaving towering structures always in the distance to remind you of the scale. As an added bonus, the balls you're forced to use as weights to press down buttons contain these adorable little creatures. Object Impermanence uses its environment to tell the world story rather than dialogue or exposition. Given the primary gimmick has to do with looking around at the surrounding world, it's a perfect way to go about it. The demo is relatively short at only around 30 minutes if you really take in the environment, but there is a supposed secret puzzle you can try to find somewhere hidden in the demo. Object Impermanence is scheduled for a Q4 2026 release. The developer shares regular updates and behind-the-scenes content along with closed playtests on their Discord server. So if you're intrigued, check out the demo. I'll hand it off to Twbb for our next game.
Thank you, 8-Bit. For our next game, we have Mind Inc. Mind Inc. is a puzzle adventure game that takes place inside the labyrinth of the mind. Gather scattered puzzle pieces and restore forgotten memories. Each person you help has a problem recollecting their memories, and it's your job to find the scattered pieces and put them back together. In Mind Inc., you play as Star, a new employee for, you guessed it, Mind Inc. You have no recollection of your memories, which is probably a coincidence, as the people you're helping also don't have a recollection of their memories. So why not try to help them? Developed by 2 Blackbirds, this indie Sokoban puzzler plays a lot like Wheelmates Warehouse. The movement and the way you can pick up multiple blocks at once to move them in bulk feel very similar. Mind Inc. is structured into levels you access from your little helicopter. But don't expect anything small, because each level is fairly large and it's even possible to find multiple separate puzzles inside a single mind, as I would like to call the levels. Underneath the puzzles, Mind Inc. carries a cozy and emotional tone. Very fitting for a game about putting broken memories back together. Speaking of broken things, let's move on to a broken world connected through a bunch of doors.
For this next game, Project Doors, all of us had different enough experiences that we thought it'd be a good idea to each speak a little on it. I enjoyed every aspect of this demo, and I plan on coming back to finish it off. The monster designs are unique, the mechanics are interesting, and the atmosphere leans more towards the spooky side rather than humorous, like a lot of games in this genre. There's more to do than just walk around and collectathon your way through, as there are alternate objectives that teach you more about the story and world, or give you a new piece of equipment. Every expedition permanently levels up your profile, unlocking new equipment and facility modifiers. I'll let the other guys get more into the actual gameplay and specifics of the game.
That's certainly a flag.
Uh-oh. Ooh. They might want to consider changing it from red and black
This
and white.
is the first time I've seen such a symbol.
For me, this game was very fun. I have a pretty good PC, so I had the whole see-through doors option on. I played it with one other person, so we didn't really have like a man in the chair, so to speak. But I can see myself playing this game with a bunch of people and then having a few people at the base camp telling the others where to go and what to do. This extraction game actually has the extraction points always open, so you can go back whenever you want. If you can find your way back, that is. The maps are great as well. There's a bunch of Easter eggs, like you can fall into the back rooms if you no-clip through the floor, you can find the metro station from the metro anomaly, and there's even a Dune level. There are a lot of modifiers you can use, so I haven't seen the entire game. Maybe Frog has a different opinion?
Well, with my lower end PC, I could tell you that I didn't have the best experience. I was averaging around 30 FPS, the cooler features like the immersive doors weren't available to me, and it just didn't look as good, obviously. Well, they wouldn't have been accessible, but the difference in frames was hardly any, so I just decided to keep them on. The lag's to be expected, especially with demos, but I do wish that Teletower Studios, the developers, had spent more time optimizing their game for potatoes like mine. Personally, I didn't entirely mind the performance, but since I've had this computer for a while, I am used to this sort of thing.
Frog and I ended up using the map system, and it was surprisingly immersive. Between the walkies not functioning on the map and otherwise limited communications, it's nerve-wracking and incredibly stressful to guide your teammate through a location you don't entirely understand yourself. Overall, the demo is super fun, despite the performance issues. It doesn't have many expeditions, but each one has enough content to last you a good hour or two. Now, maybe stress and panic isn't your vibe. If that's the case, check out this next game.
Next up is Cozy Grove 2, developed by Spryfox. You ever get home one day and just need to wind down somehow? Cozy Grove is the perfect game to play when you want to relax while also having something to work on. After carefully customizing your character, you're allowed to explore freely and discover what new characters and tools await you. The game mainly follows a story, but as you gain more understanding of the land and the bears, you're able to make your own decisions without as much guidance. As a spirit scout, you have responsibilities. By doing certain tasks, you unlock badges that grant meaningful rewards. These rewards can impact the crafting station and help you afford things from the shopkeep. Not to mention, there's a free hint machine if you can't quite tell what's up next. Cozy Grove's one of those games where you don't always have to give it your all. The bears are here for you whenever you need them to be. But if the warm, comfortable feeling of the spirit camp isn't your vibe, then maybe you'll prefer Joy and Malignant.
Consciousness returns to you in a minuscule amounts, each sense appearing gradually. Joy Malignant is my personal favorite on this list. That being said, it is a very particular game. It's an abstract RPG interactive fiction by Petros Anastasiadis, where everyone's past is on clear display via a sort of exquisite corpse-esque avatar. You begin as a mosaic, a person with no past at all. Your decisions shape who you are, and not just figuratively speaking. Decide to take a drink with a hot tiger lady? Your blank vessel becomes branded with bottled thrill. Respond to the person who took you in a specific way, and you may be described as having an arrogant heart. Whether or not that's what you want to be seen as is up to you. As always, I'm inclined to mention the game's art style. At a first glance, you'd expect the muddy colors to become hard to look at after a while, but it actually adds to the game's themes. Not only that, but the coloration and strange design of everything is explained within the game's story. Gameplay revolves around completing tasks using energy in the form of masks and the resulting outcomes. Based on your mosaic, these can become easier or harder. Things can go well and you might get some shrieks, or it can go terribly and you could lose some luster. The writing is incredibly descriptive and engaging. If you're someone who enjoys reading, you'll probably have a great time with Joy Malignant. But maybe reading's not your forte, and if that's the case, I have a feeling you might enjoy this next game more.
At a first glance, Wheelmates looks like a co-op puzzle platformer like It Takes Two. But it's actually really different. Instead of playing as people, you and your friend both control a tiny RC car. At first, the only thing you can do is drive around collecting stuff, but eventually, you'll get a grappling hook and a magnet that helps you get to new heights and solve more puzzles. The puzzles are really straightforward for the most part in the demo. However, in the second level, we did have some times where we didn't really know what to do or where to go.
The game can be a bit obtuse in your objectives sometimes, despite having a literal objective list on screen. We ended up finding our way around decently fine, but there were definitely moments where we felt lost. Other than that, the gameplay is fun and the puzzles were engaging. Oftentimes, one player will have to hold open a cover or press a button to allow the other through, so the co-op aspect isn't lost. The demo contains 2 fairly expansive zones and a lot of collectibles to keep you entertained. You work together and interact with the environment, opening pathways or operating a giant magnet to alter it. Despite their interactivity and numerous collectibles, there is no reward for collecting them all. Trust me, we tried.
Oh, and also, I should mention that there is AI usage in this demo. Some of the collectibles, like pictures and sketches, look like they used AI. I hope these are just placeholders, as the whole premise of this game is overall really cool.
Hey, thanks for making it halfway through the video. Not a lot of people are going to see this, so if you're here, leave a, cheese emoji down in the comments. The other hosts don't know I'm adding this, so let's try to get a kick out of them. Alright, that's all. Let's get on with the video.
Hey, it's time. This demo is my personal favorite on our list. I'm, of course, talking about SHOTRUN. You could imagine why a game like this was made. Maybe not so much because the dev loves their job. Basically, the main premise of the game is to shoot everyone you see as soon as you see them. If you don't, they will. With its monochromatic office setting, the blood of your coworkers vividly stains the walls. I feel like this shot specifically speaks for itself. There are a total of 6 levels that progressively increase in size and numbers. Running through them, you're able to feel yourself get more and more accustomed to the gun, and you gain a sense as to what corners any employees may be hiding in. While I think the manager is a funny and understandable choice for the boss battle, I would say that the fight is actually kind of boring. As you can see, it was mainly just centered around spamming the guy as much as you could. It felt less like a fight and more of a how much more do I have to shoot him type of deal, which, as you can imagine, wasn't too fun. Despite my disinterest in the final fight though, I do give this game the benefit of the doubt. That is to say, I'm hoping Serious Daniel, the dev, changes it in favor of something more interactive. For example, the manager's hands breaking through the floor and trying to catch the player, parkour, things that require different guns maybe. Those are just a few things that I thought of at the top of my head. But anyway, there's one more feature that I forgot to mention. The time dilation. It's not something that I would immediately expect from a game like this, but I do get why it's there. SHOTRUN's meant to be both fast and precise. You kill with only time to wonder, where's the next guy at? But if you need the time, it's always there to be enabled in settings.
If you've been online any time within the last 3 or so years, you've probably seen the growth of a genre known as friend slop. It's your lethal companies, your repos, your peaks. Project Doors from earlier was actually one such. Nowadays, the genre is feeling a bit oversaturated. But GRAINROT seems to be a step in the right direction. You might think you play as robots, which is cool enough as is, but you actually play as a spark within them. This is important as when you die you're able to possess another vessel, or alternatively, one of your friends. I'm Twbb now! Gameplay is split up into 2 sections, the physics-heavy Dungeon Delve collection segment, and the post-apocalyptic home deco segment. After collecting scrap in the dungeon, you're able to decorate the base. The game encourages aesthetically pleasing designs with stat boosts based on decoration placement. You can't go around just spamming wall lamps. For a multiplayer game all about physics, the demo was surprisingly stable. We never had any issues with desync like you might expect, and it was overall very fun. The dungeon randomizes every run with these icons that really give you that rush of gambling. Despite being relatively vague, you quickly learn what they mean. You also get to fully combat the enemies with new bodies and weapons.
If you're a fan of using your imagination and don't have that much of a high-end PC like myself, then maybe this game's for you. This is Eternal Frog 08, and in this text-based adventure, you have a few choices to make. As the story says in the bottom there, you're a person in your late 20s trying to find a job that sticks. You get handed one, working as a Junior Inspector of Occupational Safety and Dungeon Sanitation Officer. Sounds professional? It's anything but. Nevertheless, you try your best to invoke your authority amongst the dungeon dwellers, hoping that things just go your way. With the game's entrancing music, it's easy to lose track of time. Your job is to regulate any misbehavior that might be going against dungeon code. Though, if it means you get to live, then looking the other way from time to time is not out of the question. If you enjoy reading a lot, then you definitely like this game. But if you see games as more of a party experience, then you'd probably pick this next game instead.
A game that was popular around the start of the pandemic was Heave Ho. YouTubers and streamers alike were yelling,
You got it!
laughing, and ruining friendships.
Don't you fucking dare!
While everyone was stuck in their homes, they could remote play Heave Ho together. Now, releasing 2026, or if you're seeing this in the future, it's probably already released, is its sequel. It's back with the same hand-grabbing, infuriating gameplay, but now with actual online play and a plethora of new features. Your characters now switch clothes based on the map, with unique outfits for all 6 characters, plus the secret unlockable ones. Go between maps and play with your friends, swinging and clinging to whatever you can. The second installment to the Heave Ho series has a lot more interactables. The last 2 levels of the demo have you controlling a rocket ship navigating between asteroids, or more realistically, failing to navigate between asteroids. The demo teases a showdown and challenge mode, so it seems like there'll be a lot more content even yet. There's not much more to say without retreading, so just go check out the demo for yourself. As you play, the game might have you wondering if there's a story. There's not. At least as far as I can tell. But I needed a segue to Wilderings, so I'll let Twbb take it away.
Wilderings, The Lost Spring, comes from Heave Studios, the people that made Endling, a 2023 BAFTA Award winner for Games Beyond Entertainment. Now, back at it again! Heave Studios made a creature-collecting roguelite that mixes action combat with open exploration. In Wilderings, you play as Abby, making your way through a corrupted world, trying to save your family that has been consumed by this corruption. Throughout your adventure, you will find multiple Hantu. These once extinct creatures will aid you in your quest to get rid of the corruption. As you can see, for every biome, there are 10 different creatures. So that's 100 different Hantu. Or is it Hantus? The creature designs I like the best. The art style works really great with them, and oh my god, they're so cute. Let's go! Powerful ally. Combat in this game is fluid, activating abilities, parrying attacks, and dodging feels great. Traversal is also good. You permanently unlock wall runs, grapples, and you start the game with a glide. So you have enough freedom to move around the world all you want. Between runs, you head back to your skyship, where you can plant plants, get upgrades in the upgrade tree, and level up your companions. So even if you get defeated, you are always progressing to get stronger. That was all for Wilderings, so now I'll give 8-Bit the word on our second to last demo.
I figured to round out our genres, we'd better include something horror-related. Developed by Scary Kid Studios, Don't Fret is a psychological horror game where you play as a guitar, of all things. You make your way through Harmonic Heights Academy, perilously fending off against your ex-classmates and teachers. Now, if it weren't clear already, the main gist of this game is that everything's music-based. The puzzles have you selecting notes in a sequence, the monsters are made up of cassette tape-headed ladies and sheet music children, even the health pickups are heart strings. You're not left unarmed as you have your
Conduct Tech all-in-one guitar tuner
to blast enemies into submission. If an enemy is getting just a bit too close for comfort, zap them and freeze them in their place. Usually though, your goal is to avoid a situation where you need to zap an enemy in the first place. Many enemies are blind, so keeping quiet is absolutely imperative. There's clearly a very dark story beneath the scenes, but I'm not here to speculate. If you want to piece together the story for yourself, I recommend trying out the demo.
For our last demo, we have Voidling Bound. This game is actually released already, and I've played a ton of it. In Voidling Bound, you play as the Wrangler, a person that can bind themselves to creatures called Voidlings. A corruption called the Legion has spread across the galaxy, and it's your job to destroy it.
The gameplay revolves around creature collecting and evolving, as well as platforming and battling. There's a lot of creature variety, and a lot of part variety. The demo, from what I played, seems to only contain 2 of the 9 species. With each creature having 31 individual evolution choices, the total number of possibilities is practically limitless. How you evolve your creature affects what abilities you have in the battle segment of the game and how it plays. The demo contains only a few of the game's numerous missions and maybe 2 or 3 areas to mess around in, but it's already more than enough to get you hooked.
What I really like about Voidling Bound is that each species of Voidling actually feels very different to play. This isn't like each creature is a reskin with different stats. You can swap to a different Voidling to change your whole approach to fighting. Do you want more long range? Go with the Queepec. Want to get nice and close, dealing massive damage? Gillick is your guy. And if you don't like the combination of abilities on certain Voidling species, you can mix and match the genes to make your own. There are a lot of things to do in Voidling Bound, so if you like the demo, why not try the full game?
Those were our Next Fest recommendations for this summer. Wait, just give us like 20 more seconds to say the last few things before we go. If there are any demos that you'd like us to review, be sure to comment. Oh, on that note, if you didn't already click off, make sure to like. These longer videos take way more time than you'd expect, so any form of interaction is super appreciated. Also, a special thanks to Twbb for participating in these few. If you'd like to make a guest appearance like him, you're free to message us directly via email. The only thing that you'd really have to do is just record yourself playing and send that to us. We'll do the rest. Alright, with that out of the way, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next demo.